Hey there, welcome to another edition of the Akashic Portal Weekly. We're looking at the week of February 8th through the 14th, 2021. I'm your host, Jen Duchenne, jendushen.com, and I am using the Illuminating Journey cards to read the energies of this week. These cards are created by me with the help of the Akashic Records, the guidance. So let's see what we have going. First of all, we do have a new moon on the 11th of this week, and the 14th is Valentine's Day. So I guess that has some energy for us. There's a lot going on as we sort of move into that shifting, as the light begins to open and our awareness is more expanded. It feels like this week has something to do with a conclusion. That's what I'm getting coming through from the records. So I don't know what that means, but I'm sure the cards will inform us and we'll see what else comes up. So the first card is this card 27, the Soul Portal 27. Definitely movement happening. That's what's coming through as I look at this card and I feel into the energies. A sense of soaring above what might have been somehow significant in the past, or that had a lot of meaning that now is concluded. That's what's coming through. It also feels like there's a lot of energy that's moving into our field that is more geometric, more sacred. And just looking at my eyes caught here by the feather, even the idea of how this figure, if it's you, if it's your experience of life, of what it's coming up, how this figure is moving through the experience. The energy behind that blue color that's been coming in a lot lately, not just for me, but for others. This sense of being grounded and soaring, very potent, very much connected to staying above the kind of the pettiness, the maybe the old focus that doesn't work, an awareness of how things are electrified or motorized, how things move, by knowing that everything is available, everything is possible, everything's in the field, whatever you believe in, whatever you know to be true, whatever maybe you don't know yet that is coming out to be true. So there is a sacred energy that is happening and a movement in the field. So that really feels like what's going on this week, that we have a lot of movement happening. And in the background, there are, of course, sacred energies, an island, this amazing pool of water, the world around. The number 27, that's a 9. It's also a very sacred number because it's a 999 number, which is 27, and it adds up to 9. And of course, the other thing that's interesting is about the connection, the deep connection to the internal self, to the soul self, that now is demanding that we give more room to that is within us, within our grasp. So there's definitely that sense of homecoming that feels like the conclusion I talked about, this idea of being in the way, in the path of what is true, on path, going towards, expanding into, reveling in or reveling in this idea of being this sacred being in a human body. It's so profound and so needed to actually feel, right? We need to feel to heal. We need to know what our emotions are in order to move forward, to break away from constructs, beliefs, constrictions. Let's see what the second card is. So the second card is the 0. So again, it takes us back, like from the conclusion, and the number 9 is the final root number, which holds the wisdom of all the numbers. And then we go to the 0, right? So here we are at that 0, the pre-beginning. So it feels very much like this energy of being in a place we haven't been in, being in this understanding of who we are, and then even more so the figure open to the heavens. Again, that's similar colors, similar posture, the awareness of being open, this posture here, the body open, the heart open to what is coming in, what is cosmic, what is in the waters, if you will, what's in the liquid around us, what's influencing our field of perception, uh, uh, and our field of depth. What is possible? So it feels very galactic, very expansive, very open. Also inviting us to look at things we perhaps have not seen before. It feels like this opportunity to truly embrace things, our breath, our awareness of balance, even looking at the figure here as if she's balancing the moon above her, really open to the breath, to the pool, to the wonder of life, everything and nothing, the spiral of continuation, and the spiral of beginning and ending, which speaks again to what I feel is I'm being instructed about, that this ending or this conclusion is just like opening the gateway for us to now begin a new process. With the moon, the new moon on the 11th, it's 23 degrees something, which is the fifth of six moons at 23 degrees, and that's a 5. We are in a 5 universal year right now. We're in a 7 universal month. It's about the wisdom of being carried forward by our wisdom, of the freedom of being liberated from old ways of being. And both of these cards are speaking to that. This new moon that is coming also gives us that. I believe it's the moon in Aquarius. So, and there's a lot of planets and bodies in Aquarius, a lot of that expanding of our vision, of our awareness of what's possible, kind of this opening up of the channel that seems to reflect what we're seeing here. The awareness that what we've seen, what we've been, what we've held on to is no longer current, or giving us the ability to really expand and step into a greater revelation, a greater acceptance, a greater willingness to go for something that we might have resisted or hid from in the past. And the third and final card, so this is so interesting. Here is the card 1. So we started off with the 9. We moved into the 0, and then we have the 1. That is so wild. I cannot believe it. What's also interesting is we started off with a lot of the blues, then we have that figure and again more blues and pinks, and then this card is very much pink, lots of pink energy. It's also what I find also fascinating is, if you can see this, the reflection, is the figure is now moving. The other two figures were kind of still, this one holding its own, kind of floating through the air. This one kind of sitting back, and now this one moving into action on the back of the horse, moving into position. The cloud of energy, the sword going through to hit the bullseye or the shield. There's an energy of not, I wouldn't say battle, because that just isn't what it feels like. It feels like purpose. It feels like here you are, this figure, moving into position, choosing where you're going to go forward. And in the conclusion, you're given a focus to really take leadership, take this new beginning, this opportunity to start over with this. Here we have the symbol that is the triangle, which I know came up last week. It speaks to the 3 energies of what is possible. There is also a chalice here, if you can see it, a doorway, a chalice. The chalice is about the intuitive side, the female spirit, the great divine female spirit coming into being with this figure taking action, going forward, the masculine and feminine, or yin yang, whatever you want to call it, day, night, on purpose, riding into this. There is an energy of taking charge of your life in a new way, taking charge of, yes, all this stuff has come through. Everyone has an opinion. I have an opinion. I have done things I have done. What do I want to do now that I have concluded that I've heard the arguments? Right. So it's kind of like that, like a court case in a sense. Like, I've heard the arguments. I know what I did. I know what you did. I know what's out there. And I've kind of accepted that. And now I've sat back and I've listened, and now I'm taking charge, or I'm going forward. I'm charging forward. I'm focusing on what is important to me right now. So I'm starting a new chapter. It's a new beginning. I'm really getting dialed in on what I need to do to be fully in alignment with what's happening and what is true to me at this time. So that feels really important in terms of the week, this energizing, or this building up of our spirit and our willingness to go places where maybe we haven't gone before, to see things we have not, or give ourselves permission to go for what is sacred to us, what is calling us in, and to really do it. And I myself feel that. I feel that sense of this adventure that's really beginning, even though I know we still have a Mercury retrograde. So the good thing about that is it gives us, in the 7 months and the 2 of February, gives us this ability to kind of sit in the energy with these 2 different levels as we are concurrently moving forward. So we have all 3 of these elements happening at the same time, just sitting with a bigger knowledge, right? Or floating through with a bigger knowledge of how the world works. Sitting there in wonder, knowing that, wow, we've let go of so many things that no longer have validity. And then this going forward, truly trusting the time we're in. So feels really important, feels really necessary to know and understand that this is what this is, and that we're choosing this path, that we're going forward, knowing everything is in order, and we are, ready for this. I do want to talk a little bit about the 23 that I mentioned on the new moon, and that's an 11, so double new beginnings. So it really feels like this sense of liberation, that we're rushing through this portal, and not just rushing through, but we are discerning what we're rushing towards. So there definitely is a sense of awareness within us. The 23 speaks to not only our physical body, and the 5, we have 5 fingers, 5 toes, etc. Also speaks to our DNA, the 23. But in numerology, it speaks to the courage. It's called the lion heart number, right? It's the most powerful number in numerology, and it speaks to this idea of being able to activate the magic within us, the ability to let go of the things that have kind of brought us somewhere, and to reintegrate us with alchemy, with this liveliness, this awareness of life, our life force coming back into our body as we kind of take this step towards bringing things together, being courageous, being open. And one of the things that's so important to understand, that we can be courageous and we can be open, but we don't have to give up who we are in order to do that and be that. And so that's really what the 5 speaks about. It asks us to be in the moment, in the truth of the moment, balancing in the moment, open to opportunity, open to ideas, but not giving up who we are, right? We are settling into that place of truly being able to move between the worlds and move between ideas and step into something new and powerful and sacred that it calls us. So that's the reading for this week. Sending you lots of love. Yes, if something came up for you or something landed and you want to share in the comments, I would love to hear it. Of course, your likes, subscribes, comments are all appreciated. And yes, I will see you next week. Just go boldly and gently into the good night, right? What we have available to us in this new time of birthing in fresh ways. I'm Jen Duchenne of jendushen.com.